Corgis to space. Wow. Big news. Super big news. Some very special dogs are going to space. Can you guess what kind of dogs? They are corgis. Yes, corgis. Fluffy, happy corgis are going on a mission. A mission to the stars. Maybe even to the moon. Everyone is so excited about this news. It is a great adventure for the corgis. Such brave little dogs heading for the sky. Why corgis, you ask? That is a good question. Corgis are very brave dogs. Yes, they are. They have short legs, it is true, but their hearts are very, very big and strong. They are also very smart dogs. They learn fast. They can learn to push special space buttons. They can learn to wear tiny, comfy helmets. Corgis are perfect for a space adventure, you see. They are ready for anything at all that comes their way. Plus, their happy faces cheer everyone up. The whole world is watching this big event. People everywhere love corgis so much, it's true. Their wagging tails make everyone smile wide. Their happy barks are like sweet music to our ears. And everyone loves space adventures too, of course. Seeing stars and planets is always amazing. So corgis going into space? That is extra amazing. It is the best news anyone has heard in a long time. Everyone cheers loudly for the Corgi astronauts. Go corgis go! We are all rooting for you. Let's meet our brave Corgi space team now. First, there is Captain Fluffy Butt. He is the leader. He has a very important job on the big spaceship. Then, there is Navigator Wiggles. He is so smart. He will help find the way to the moon. Scientist Shorty is also on this amazing team. He will study space rocks and maybe space plants. And last but not least is Pilot Zoom. He is very fast. He will fly the spaceship very well and very safely. What a wonderful and brave team of corgis. The corgis had to get ready for space. It was a lot of hard work for them, for sure. They needed special training for their big, long trip. They practiced wearing their tiny spacesuits every day. The suits were white and very shiny like stars. The suits helped them breathe when they were in space. They also practiced floating, just like human astronauts do. It looked so funny to see the corgis float around. They tumbled and spun in the air with happy yips. But they were having a lot of fun learning. The corgis learned all about their amazing spaceship. Their spaceship had a very cool and fun name. It was called the Possum Voyager. Wow, isn't that neat? The Possum Voyager was very, very big indeed. It had lots of rooms inside and many, many buttons. So many buttons to look at and learn about. The corgis learned which buttons were important to push. They learned not to chew the wrong colorful wires. They were very good students, those clever corgis. They listened carefully to their human teachers. Inside the Possum Voyager, it was very comfy. There were special soft beds just for the corgis. The beds were soft and warm for sleeping in space. There was a big round window to look outside. Through the window they could see all the stars. Millions and millions of twinkling, shining stars. The ship even had a special food machine for them. This machine gave them yummy space treats. Crunchy treats made just for brave space corgis. It was like a dream come true for these hungry pups. Then the big day finally came. It was liftoff day. Captain Fluffy Butt and his brave crew were all ready. They walked proudly to the Possum Voyager ship. They wagged their short tails with pure excitement. They were not scared, not even a little tiny bit. They were ready for their great space adventure to begin. The giant rocket under the ship started to rumble loudly. Roar! It made a super loud and shaky noise. Then, zoom, up, up, up they went, so fast. Into the bright blue sky, then into dark starry space. The Possum Voyager flew quickly through dark space. It traveled for a little while, not too long. Soon they reached a very big and amazing place. It was the International Space Station, or ISS for short. The ISS is like a giant floating house high above Earth. Astronauts from many different countries live and work there. The Possum Voyager connected to the ISS very gently. The human astronauts on the ISS opened the door wide. They were so surprised and happy to see corgis. "Welcome, brave corgis. Come on in!" they all cheered. Inside the ISS, everything was floating all around. The corgis started to float too. It was so strange. At first, they wiggled their short legs in the air. They tried to walk on the floor, but they just floated up. Soon, they learned to push off the walls to move. They zoomed around like little furry, happy rockets. They barked happily as they chased floating tennis balls. The human astronauts laughed and played games with them. It was a very happy and super fun time for everyone. Floating corgis made everyone smile big, wide smiles. Scientist Shorty got to work right away on his tasks. He helped the human scientists with their important jobs. He used his good corgi nose to sniff interesting things. He sniffed plants that were growing in the space garden. Did space carrots smell different from Earth carrots? Shorty would know. Navigator Wiggles loved looking out the big ISS window. He saw Earth, our beautiful home, far, far below. It looked like a beautiful big blue and white marble, covered in white swirls of clouds and blue oceans. So pretty. He wished he could show it to all his dog friends back home. Captain Fluffybutt was very busy too, being the leader. He made sure all the other corgis were safe and sound. He checked their spacesuits and made sure they had food. He was a very good and very responsible corgi captain. Pilot Zoom practiced flying a small space pod nearby. The pod was for short trips around the space station. The corgis ate their special space treats happily each day. They drank water from little floating bubbles in the air. Slurp. The water bubbles were fun to catch in their mouths. Space was a wonderful and truly amazing place to be for them. The corgis had a lot of fun on the ISS, but their biggest adventure was not over yet. Oh no! It was time for them to go to the moon. They said goodbye to their new human astronaut friends. The Possum Voyager left the space station carefully. It flew towards the big, bright, shining moon. The moon looked very big and gray up close. It was covered in giant holes called craters, big and small. The corgis barked with great excitement and joy. They were going to the moon. For real, it was happening. The Possum Voyager flew all around the moon. It circled and circled, getting a very good look. Then a smaller spaceship got ready for a special trip. This little ship was called the Lunar Barker. What a fun name. Captain Fluffybutt and Pilot Zoom climbed bravely inside. They were going to land on the moon's dusty surface. Navigator Wiggles and Scientist Shorty stayed on the big ship. They watched carefully from the Possum Voyager's window. They wagged their tails excitedly for their brave friends below. "Good luck, be safe," barked Wiggles and Shorty together. The Lunar Barker went down, down, down slowly. It landed very softly on the quiet moon. A little puff of gray moon dust went up around it. "The Corgi has landed!" barked Captain Fluffybutt proudly. He opened the door of the Lunar Barker with his paw. He and Pilot Zoom stepped out onto the moon. Their little paws touched the dusty, rocky surface. They were the very first corgis ever on the moon. They planted a special flag with a red paw print on it. They even sniffed some moon rocks. Very interesting smells. After their exciting moonwalk, it was time to go. Captain Fluffybutt and Pilot Zoom got back in the Lunar Barker. The Lunar Barker flew up, up, up to the Possum Voyager. All the corgis were together again. Hooray! Happy barks! They started their long journey back home to Earth. They were tired from their adventure, but so very happy. Splash! The Possum Voyager landed safely in the big ocean. Boats came quickly to pick up the hero corgis. Everyone cheered for the brave and wonderful space dogs. They wagged their tails. What an amazing adventure they had.